Out of my actual office today because it's a rain outside where I am, and we have to talk New Jersey. It's getting crazy. I hope you guys are not completely tired of hearing about New Jersey because we have to talk about a couple of things, but I will try to spare you guys any of the details of things that you've already been hearing, but we have to break down New Jersey with everything with Melissa going on. So just give me 2 seconds here, guys, to get situated with my light, my keyboard. Have you guys been watching all of the blogs? I want to know what you're thinking. If you're watching, I know you guys follow other bloggers and YouTubers, so you're probably hearing some of the things I'm hearing, which it's a little crazy. So let me get my camera together. This looks better. Okay. Hopefully we don't have any interruptions. First of all, before we get started, guys, if you like my videos, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, turn those notifications on. We are talking Real Housewives of New Jersey. I don't want to go into, like I said, repeat everything that you guys have been hearing, but to give people just a little bit of commentary on what's been going on. We know Teresa Louis has had over $1 million wedding, filmed for Bravo, 4-part series. Rumors before the wedding about Joe and Melissa. A big fight that took place at the finale. Joe and Melissa did not attend the wedding. Everyone thought it was kind of like publicity. We thought that, he would show up last minute. Definitely was not the case. Now we're hearing the rumors about Melissa, cheating rumors. But these cheating rumors are allegedly, here's where it gets a little confusing and kind of juicy. The cheating rumors are coming from a source that is affiliated with Margaret. This is where part of the issues with this whole cheating rumor, why people are giving more merit to it, not only because we've heard this storyline from Melissa before, right? Strippergate. We kind of blame that for the downfall of Melissa and Teresa's entire relationship. I mean, I think that's what viewers and fans, have said all along, that they've kind of blamed Teresa for Melissa and their relationship because of the entire Strippergate thing. If you guys haven't followed New Jersey from the beginning, go back, start at the beginning. I'm telling you, it's worth it. Alan is one of my, friends and followers on here, and he went back and started watching from the beginning, and he was messaging me with all these different things that he had caught, that he hadn't, forgot, or just a lot of different things. It gives you a lot of background because New Jersey was really, really family whenever it first came on the franchise. The rumors about Melissa cheating are coming from a new girl who we've talked about this before. They were bringing 3 women onto the Real Housewives of New Jersey, but they weren't going to make anyone full-time. The ladies had to earn it, right? So we know we got 3 women. We got Danielle. She came on as Team Teresa. Then there was a girl that came on as Melissa's friend. And then there was Laura, who is allegedly Marge Joseph's childhood friend. And she is the one coming out with these cheating rumors. Yeah, she is alleging that Margaret told her that one night when Melissa and Margaret were out in New York City doing press, something transpired. Melissa was in a car with a man, and somebody opened the door, and they were seeing Melissa and this man were seen making out. And allegedly, Margaret said, we're never going to speak of it again, but because she was good friends with Laura, and Laura wasn't on the show yet, allegedly she shared this information with Laura. And so now that Laura is trying to get on the show and she's fallen out with Marge, allegedly, we're seeing her basically out this rumor. Allegedly, Danielle, the new girl who is Team Teresa, did bring up the cheating allegations at the finale. We know that she got a full-time spot, so we know she's bringing some drama this season. Allegedly, the rumors were that Teresa didn't want anything to do with the rumors and that she was really just trying to keep peace. Now, a couple of reasons there might be a little bit of merit to this is, one, we saw Marge at the wedding. We know Marge and Teresa weren't getting along. I mean, last season, Teresa was ready to axe her, right? We know production told Marge, lay off Louis. But we also have to remember that last season, Margaret told us that Teresa said something she can never, ever, ever come back from. We were allegedly supposed to hear it at the reunion, but for whatever reason, they kept it into the new season. Well, whatever that is, it must not have been that terrible because one, they worked through it, and two, they seem to be getting along very good, so much so that Margaret and her husband were at the wedding and Melissa and Joe weren't. So a couple of things I want to share with you guys about the tea with Melissa. Number one, they're alleging that the person she was cheating with name is like Nick something. He's on Instagram. I think like Nick Marin, Marr. I can post if you guys want to know who it is, so you can look up on IG. But he's already cleaned up his Instagram account, so you're not really going to catch a lot there. But I got the feeling that this was a hoax, and I told you guys this because you guys, if you go to my community page, I actually showed this on my live when it first came out. CC Loves You, which is a very reliable Instagram account. If you don't follow them, check them out. They posted this photo of Melissa. It's like a Snapchat kind of. That's what it looks like to me, and it says like the only other man she can kiss is me, and it was this alleged Nick guy. And when I went on there, it looks very much like he is related, okay? Like a step cousin maybe, something along those lines. He does look, he is in the industry. He does seem, he has Tyler Perry tagged on his page. He works the Oval, to show the Oval. I don't follow it, obviously I'm a reality TV junkie, so I don't know regular primetime dramas. But that's what he allegedly is in. And I think he's like a bailiff, or he's like in divorce court or something like that, because Wendy Williams was like talking about how sexy he was one time. And so allegedly he works with Real Housewives, maybe production, maybe press, who knows? But that's who they're alleging that Margaret Joseph is alleging that she was cheating with. I don't think that's the case. I really don't, guys. I mean, I think, if you want my opinion, I definitely think that Melissa, whatever. But I think that they're throwing this story in like the mix to like tease people. Because why would you post that on your Snapchat? And here's another thing, guys. I told you guys this tea the other day. Melissa allegedly, Joe and Melissa have lied about how they met. If you guys remember, they said they went to Cancun and ran into each other. They were both from New Jersey. Talked, Joe liked her. 6 months later, they came home to New Jersey and they linked back up. But the rumors are that actually Melissa was dating Joe's best friend. Now, the guy that Melissa was dating prior to Joe Gorga, well, one guy, she allegedly was like a sponsor, and he paid for her like boob job that she got done in college allegedly. And there is a man and he goes by Bulldog, and that is allegedly Melissa's like actual ex-boyfriend, and that is who was in the cheating rumors from like season 3 or 4, whenever Melissa's own friend came on that season and said that she was out with Melissa and other girlfriends. There's like 6 of them, and they were having dinner, and Bulldog ended up showing up and Melissa left with him. She said that. She's quoted in a magazine in an interview that she did not get paid for. If you guys want to check that out. Bulldog also used to be on Twitter, and if you scroll my Instagram way back, I shared some really problematic tweets that Bulldog had tweeted, okay, about Joe Gorga and about the dad and the dad's house and the feuding between the 2 Joes. And that's how I kind of actually started to uncover the feud between Joe Giudice and Joe Gorga, being the issue that Joe Gorga got into some financial trouble and allegedly was responsible for his parents' home being foreclosed on. Then Joe Giudice, of course, taking Teresa's parents in and building them a loft above their garage. It caused all this, contingent conflict between the two Joes. So Bulldog tweeted all this information. I have the tweets. They're on my Instagram. They're old. If you go back, I can try to get them again and pull them up for you guys, maybe during a live or something, so that we can kind of go over them, because they are so problematic you wouldn't even really believe what they were saying. So my perspective, and I shared this with you guys, is that if Melissa was dating Joe's best friend, we know they were super jealous of each other. If we go back, again, this is why you guys got to go back. If we go back and watch Melissa and Joe when they first came on the show, they tell us they couldn't go anywhere without each other. Joe was super jealous, Melissa was super jealous. Melissa's friend alleged that Joe actually smacked Melissa in the face one time when they were out and she was dancing with a guy and he got pissed and they went to the car to leave and he slapped her in the face. Don't know if that's true, of course. That's just alleged. So I want to know what you guys think about this Nick guy. Interesting things about him. I tried to like really dig in to see who his affiliates were, but again, people that he's cleaned his Instagram up. People were commenting, asking him about Melissa, and he was deleting the comments. Joey Gorga has, commented, liked a lot of his posts. So again, when I was like trying to do some digging and talking to some of the people in New Jersey, I kept really getting the answer that he's somehow affiliated with Melissa's family, because Melissa has like 3 sisters, I think, for sure 2 sisters. They're married, they have kids, their kids are old enough that they're getting married now, and I almost think that there's some kind of like affiliation there, because it looks like maybe Melissa's sister's husband had been married from a previous marriage, and so he might have a kid and an ex-wife. Like I said, guys, New Jersey, tangled web, everyone knows everyone, has connections, knows someone that's connected, so it's not unlikely if he is from that area that they have, worked together, know each other, or they're possibly related. A couple of other things I want to talk about with the whole Melissa scandal. Allegedly, page 6 is Melissa's go-to. That's allegedly where she feeds, her camp feeds information to page 6. And page 6 read an article that said that that Teresa and Louis were so mad that Joe and Melissa didn't show up and that they paid for their ticket, paid for their seating and paid for their meals, that they were sending Joe and Melissa a bill. I didn't think that sounded correct, because you would have to send, what are you going to do, send everyone a bill? That doesn't even make sense. We all know that Teresa had vendors. She probably didn't come out of pocket for much, especially considering that it was filmed for Bravo, and probably Melissa and Joe got their own paycheck out of being part of the 4-part series. So Jennifer Aiden took to Twitter and said she just saw the most fake story. And somebody commented, asked her what it was, and she said that Louis and Teresa would never send Joe and Melissa a bill, and this is completely fake news, okay? That's story number 1. Then we also read that Melissa's camp had an insider, and they had messages that got shared or leaked to Instagram that said the food was terrible, Teresa was late, people were starving, dinner was served late, a lot of the housewives left before dinner, it went till 2 o'clock in the morning, that they had sprinklers at the end, and whenever everyone was wishing Louis and Teresa off, that there was only about 70 people left. It alleged that Teresa was grumpy, she didn't want to take pictures with vendors, and her wedding planner was telling her that she had to, and she was just acting cold. And so I just wanted to touch on that because, number 1, I think it's really strange that I posted these photos of Danielle, the new housewife, with production, right? It looks like they're from Teresa's wedding, so it maybe wasn't like the same production. It probably was a lot of the same people that did production for the Real Housewives in New Jersey. But because it was like a 4-part series, she must have felt like it was okay to take pictures with them at the wedding and post them, which I thought was really lovely. And so now we're seeing these pictures of Danielle with, the vendors and such, and now all of a sudden this page 6 article comes out about how Teresa didn't want to take pictures with vendors and how she was like grumpy. Another thing I want to add is that Kenya Moore did a live from Teresa's wedding. You can go back and watch it on Kenya's Instagram page. She is live feeding from the wedding, and she is meeting the housewife from Dubai for the first time. And Teresa is actually making her way, you can't see her on the camera, but she's like making her way towards Kenya. And the cameraman gets like, oh, this much of her, but they pick up the conversation. And Teresa's like, hi, and Kenya's like, hi, oh my gosh, you look so beautiful. And Teresa was like, thank you. And she seemed, I was listening in her voice because I thought, How, like, is she, not to be mean, but like, how can you like go like that? Like, 4 kids, you just got done filming, you're having a wedding, you're filming again, and like, I mean, just the physical exhaustion of carrying around a dress and hair and makeup and, you know, having a rehearsal dinner, filming the finale, like, that's a lot of work for someone, you know, to be present, to be, I don't know, I just think like, I don't know, it just seems like a lot of work. If you guys agree, please comment. I don't usually try to give you guys my opinion until the end, but that's what I'm thinking. Like, how is this lady even working this much? Finale, rehearsal dinner, engagement party, trip to Ireland, a wedding, 4 daughters, you know, 2 stepsons, a crazy brother and sister-in-law. I just didn't, I was surprised that she went till 2 o'clock in the morning. Her hair, Andy Cohen, I feel like he was kind of shading her without shading her, which I thought was kind of shitty. I don't know what you guys think. Oh, Nick Mararo. Sorry, Callie. It's like Marrow. I'm sorry, Alan. It was storming so bad here that I didn't want to come live because I knew that my streaming would be bad. So I was like, I'll just do it in the morning. Because, like I said, people were reporting that this is the man that she was cheating with, and I keep hearing that it's like family. But does that really mean that she couldn't be cheating with him? Because if he is family, married into the family, which he is married, then she could still be cheating with him. As long as it's not a blood relative, she could be cheating with him. I knew a woman that I babysat for, and she kind of did some stuff like that with a cousin's husband, fiance, whatever you want to say. Back to Andy Cohen. Stace wants to know, how did Anne get to Teresa? She met her through Jennifer. That's why if you look at her tweets, she tweeted that she had like no time to get ready. She found out a week ahead of time. Like, basically she met her through Jennifer, and Teresa was like, hey, you know, you and your son are welcome to come. I have a couple extra seats, blase skip, yada yada yada. And so she said like they ended up going, but she didn't have any glam, and she wasn't really styled, but she had an amazing time, and she got to meet like the other housewives. And I loved seeing Kenya. I can never say her name right. I just say she's the housewife from Dubai because I always feel like I'm gonna say it wrong. But pause. Do you guys remember when they were talking about Phaedra coming back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta or the Real Housewives of Dubai? And do you remember what she tweeted? She tweeted for her to like F off, for Phaedra to F off. The Dubai woman posted basically F Phaedra, like they don't need her or want her on their franchise. She deleted it fairly quickly, but she still tweeted it. And then Phaedra was at the wedding. So I was just wondering what that was like. I think that Kenya and Phaedra aren't super fans of each other. We know that. I think Kenya and the Real Housewife from Dubai probably were like hanging out like this. And Phaedra and Cynthia were on the other team, if you want to know my opinion. But anyways, that's how she got there. That's why she wasn't like glammed up, styled up. She really went there. I saw her dancing like in the back of Kenya's video. Kenya like pop locks and drops it to "It's Getting Hot in Here," and she's like in the background just getting down, and that looked genuine to me, I thought. So I like the fact that she wasn't styled. She had like a little bit of a suit on with like a cross bag, and just a black straight hair. That was it. Did you guys notice what Phaedra was wearing around her neck? Anyone? Did you guys see the diamond she was wearing around her neck? That's a Tiffany's diamond. Beyonce wore that in the cover of her and Jay-Z's magazine. They say there's only like 4 people in the world to have worn it. I don't know if it was really actually it or if it was a replica, but that's what Phaedra was sporting at the wedding. Also, I wanted to say, if you go back to Phaedra's photos, I actually screenshotted some of these because I was going to post them on the community page for you guys. she looks really different in some of her photos. Like, her face is so, I don't know if it's face tuned. I don't even know if that's a right word, but it doesn't even look like her. Like, her features are completely different from, like, you would literally think it was a different person from one photo to the next. I don't know. I don't know why she does that. She's so beautiful, and whenever it seems like she's like natural, and I see photos of her like she's in the background, she looks amazing. But she like face tunes her photos on her Instagram, and it's I don't know. I want to know what you guys think about that, because I think it looks bad. It looks bad, and Phaedra's like beautiful. So I don't know why she does that. I don't know why. But allegedly that's the diamond that she was wearing to the engagement. Back to Andy Cohen, who was not present at the wedding. And he was talking about Teresa's hair. Everyone, of course, has a different opinion on it. Some people loved it, some people hated it. Some people really said, you know, she's staying true to her New Jersey roots. A lot of people also said it looked a lot like her hair from her first wedding, which, pause. Remember when we were talking about the photo from her first wedding, we were discussing that it didn't look like Joe and Teresa's original wedding photo, right? Because I was like, she has her boobs done in that. And so they had done a vow renewal. That was the photo from their vow renewal that we saw on the Real Housewives of New Jersey. So that wasn't their original wedding photo that you see floating around on Instagram or Twitter. Joe and Teresa's, that was their renewal of their vows. Now, one thing I left out that I want to tell you guys some tea, so make sure you hit that like button. This morning or yesterday, back to this whole Melissa saga, right? So allegedly Margaret shares the information that Melissa is cheating with this man. She just saw them making out in a car in New York City. She can't tell any of her friends that are on the show, or anyone that's affiliated with the show, or anyone that knows Melissa and Joe. So who does she go to? Marge goes to her childhood friend, who she's known her whole life, and she tells her the secret about Melissa cheating with this guy. So then when she tries to come on the show, there's all this alleged, conflict behind the scenes that Margaret had been telling her childhood friend that she, had suggested her to production many of times, and that she doesn't know why production doesn't, want to have her on the show, blase skip. Well, allegedly that was all a lie, and that Margaret actually was anti getting her friend on the show. She wasn't promoting her, suggesting her to production. She was actually saying, you don't want to work with her, like, she's a headache, etc., etc. So when the childhood friend gets wind that Margaret is basically sabotaging her chances of being a housewife, she ends up meeting up with Teresa and Jennifer, and I'm assuming Danielle too. This is how Danielle would find out and then later come out with it at the finale. So they have dinner, and it's alleged that the new girl didn't want to tell Teresa and Jennifer and Danielle about Melissa, but after 20 minutes, she felt so moved that she wanted to get it off of her chest. So she shared the information that Marge had confided in her, that Melissa had been cheating with this man in New York City, and she saw it firsthand. This is where we get the whole idea that Teresa didn't want anything to do with it. That Jennifer and Danielle also heard the rumor, so that they're the ones that brought it up, but Teresa's probably getting blamed for it. Because they'll think that, because of the whole Strippergate thing. But here's where it gets even more juicy, right? The friend has a husband, and he's been on Twitter. And he tweeted Tamra Judd and said, "Can my wife please come on your show, your Two Tays in a Pod podcast, and tell her side of the story?" And you know what Tamra said? No. Like a snobby bitch, Tamra retweets this guy who has a woman affiliated with the New Jersey Housewives and says, "No, you can't come on, she can't come on the podcast." I hope to God, first of all, this is not Tamara's plan to rejuvenate the Real Housewives of Orange County, is to be like a mean, snobby bitch, because if so, I don't, we already have Heather Dubrow, and I'm not trying to be mean, but we know that she very much is, upper class to her own standards. And so I don't really want to see another mean girl. And I feel like that was so rude and ignorant of her. Like, even when she came for Jill, like, she told Jill to F off in a tweet, like, fuck off. And I'm like, I just don't understand, Tamara, because, like, one second you're like, I'm baptized and I trying to live a good life, but it's like, if she gets an opportunity to go on the show, she'll literally sell her soul. She doesn't care about morals or values or being kind to anyone, which we see that all the time with housewives. I get it, but Tamara was like off the show and now she's going back on the show, so it's like, are you really about to just do whatever you can to stay on the show? Because I feel like viewers sense desperation and we don't want to see that either. We don't want to see someone desperate to be on the Real Housewives of Orange County, unless if they're really going to be like desperate enough to bring us something juicier than being rude and ignorant to people on Twitter because they don't have enough Instagram followers for you. And Teddy fucking Mellencamp, who shouldn't say no to anyone, because I don't think Teddy would even have a podcast if it wasn't for Tamara saying no to people. Anyways, her husband trying to get her on a podcast, Tamara denied him. So hopefully, I can't get a hold of him, or he would be on here this morning. I would have her if I could get a hold of her. So if anyone has contact information for her or is in contact with her and can either DM me, comment. I'm going on Dana Wilkie Thursday morning. I want to tell you guys we're going to do a live about Beverly Hills and New Jersey in the morning, so make sure you guys set a note for that. It'll probably be about 10:30 Eastern time. I love Dana. We've done things together before for years, and I really have a lot of love and respect for her because she is one of those people that's kind, like, to everyone. Like, whether you have 1,000 followers or 500,000 followers, she's still respectful, and that's what I didn't like about Tamara. I thought that was like a really shitty thing to do. Like, I don't know. I just did. Like, why? I don't know. Just message the guy and tell him. Like, and anyway, I'm sure that they'll be calling him for a podcast once the Real Housewives of New Jersey starts to air or the trailer comes out, and I hope that she tells them to F off. So I want to know what you guys think also about Bulldog, Melissa's alleged ex-boyfriend that was on Twitter tweeting about Joe Giudice. And I'm thinking that he was actually Joe Giudice's best friend that Melissa was cheating with. And the proof of the butter in that is if you guys go back to the reunion, when Teresa was wearing the emerald green dress, her and Melissa are arguing, and at one point she starts to spill the beans about Melissa dating Joe's best friend, and Melissa like cuts her off, and you can hear it but you can't hear it. So again, one of those things that slipped under the rug, and if someone hadn't went back and watched that reunion, we may not have realized that Teresa had said that, but she did. So it's all starting to kind of circle and make sense. We do know that Melissa and Joe were seen at the Jersey Shore the day after the wedding. They were photographed, and we haven't really heard any comments from Melissa. We're just kind of hearing these stories circulate allegedly through Page 6 about the food being terrible, Teresa being late, etc., etc. Now, Jill Zaron, and other housewives have commented and said that that's not the case, that the food was amazing. It was an Italian wedding. There was so much to eat. And also that, that there was plenty to eat, plenty of food, and that it was a great time. So that's why sources are saying that these stories are coming from from Melissa's camp. Sorry, my little one's downstairs crying. Coming from Melissa's camp. Basically, she's putting all these stories in the press. And don't forget that Melissa was seen, wow, she's really crying. I'm gonna have to go down there. Melissa was seen out and about with Joe, out to dinner, allegedly after Teresa had her escorted out of the shower. And allegedly Melissa was crying. There was no cameras around. She was sobbing and weeping to Joe about her being mortified and about being so embarrassed by, her getting escorted or asked to leave the shower. And so really we think that that's where all of this tension for them not to go to the wedding was. So Stace is very confused. What's wrong, Stace? Ask me your question. Melissa has a camp? Unbelievable. Yes, definitely has a camp. And allegedly her camp is affiliated with Page 6, and that's why sometimes we get these articles coming out of Page 6, like the article that Teresa is sending Melissa and Joe a bill, and that's not the case, and Jennifer Aiden cleared that up. But the story came out in Page 6, and I did see it a lot of places. It was saying like, oh, it's so expensive, and if you RSVP, they pay for your food, and they can't get their money back, and yada yada yada, this whole explanation, and it didn't sound right. And you know what else Jennifer Aiden said? She commented, she said, if Teresa and Louis sent Melissa and Joe a bill for not coming to their reception, their wedding, whatever, trust and believe we would see it. It would be posted somewhere. We would be hearing about it. And I believe that. I think Jennifer is right on with that. A lot of people said that allegedly like people were bothered by production, that there was cameras everywhere. From what I saw, it looked like there was plenty of room, lots of dancing, lots of people having fun. So I really think that Melissa might be kind of, you know, her camp, her sisters, guys. Don't forget about her sisters. She has older sisters. I feel like they're super protective of her. And we saw the one sister in, you know, Melissa and Joe's opening episode. You know, she was kind of a fight between Teresa. They started to kind of bicker back and forth. So I think even if Melissa was like, don't do that, I think her sisters would 100% be making moves behind the scenes in defense of her. And she probably knows that too, but who knows? I want to know what you all think. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, turn those notifications on. I'm going to break this all down in another video, but I like to come on live so that we can like correspond with each other. But yeah, so I want to know what you guys think. And also don't forget, Dana Wilkie live Thursday morning, 10:30. We're going to be talking in Beverly Hills. We're going to be talking New Jersey. Her and I are both digging. Who is Bulldog? Who did Melissa allegedly cheat with? Who did Tamara diss? Okay, Stace. Bulldog is a man who is Melissa's ex-boyfriend before Joe Giudice, who was tweeting allegations about Joe Gorga basically losing his dad's house, and that was the reason for the feud between the two Joes. I've done a video on that before, right? Why Joe Giudice and Joe Gorga don't get along. Bulldog was the ex-boyfriend of Melissa, and he was on Twitter tweeting all of this during like season 4 when Melissa's friends came on the show and had alleged that she had, you know, cheated. And even though he wasn't on the show and he wasn't affiliated with the Real Housewives, he took to Twitter. So there is that. And the diss was the new girl's husband. Tamara dissed the new girl's husband because he asked if his wife could come on the podcast because she's getting bad-mouthed by Margaret. And Tamara said no. So, alright guys, my baby is crying for her mama. I gotta go. Make sure you guys comment. I'll post another video a little bit slower explaining everything. But just wanted to come on live. And don't forget to check out that community post, the missing girl from New Jersey. Guys, if you're from New Jersey area, take a second, go into my community post and take a look and see if you have seen or know anything. Thanks guys. Have a great day.